Hello, guys, and welcome back to the HalfTimeCuppa Football Manager podcast with myself, IJ011, and my co-host, Charlie Pumfrey, aka Pump3 on Twitch. How are you doing, Charlie?
I'm very good, IJ. You are getting good at these.
Mate, I'm practicing. Today, we're joined by an unbelievable guest. I don't think anyone would believe we would have on. It's the man, the myth, the legend. It's Doop. How you doing, mate?
I mean, in my contract, I stated I wanted a big build-up. I'm
Yeah,
happy
true.
with that.
Oh,
I'm happy
Don't
with
worry.
that.
oh, I thought you were going to say it's not good enough, mate. I was like, hold your horses.
No, I'm happy with that. I'll give you 10% discount on the fees. That's fine.
Yes, I can eat.
Charlie, Charlie, would you like to introduce our wonderful guest, mate?
So yeah, I mean, I'm sure he needs no introduction, obviously, being a key focal character in the FM community. Around for a few years now, isn't it, Doop? With the We Stream FM boys now.
We've been about 4 years, mate.
About 4 years now, wow. You boys are smashing it. Doing another podcast, which we won't name for legal reasons. Or we will. Who knows? We've already paid all our money out, so there's nothing to lose. But yeah, so you've been around for a little while, haven't you, Doop, on the old on the scene? We can get to that a little bit later. But
Been part and parcel of it for a while. We've been dipped in and out for times with children and stuff. But yeah, I've been here for a while. It makes me feel really old. Yeah, I've been here a while, pal. It's been 84 years.
Part of the furniture, Doop. That's what it is. We wouldn't have we wouldn't have the scene we have without you, mate. Well, you and the boys.
I'll take that as a compliment, I think.
No, it is. But yeah. So I think really the best place to start, as it is always, is the beginning. And this is more of an overall sort of origin story when it comes to football, Doop. How did you get in, if you can keep it within a reasonable time, you know? But no. How have you got into football? What instantly brought you in? Was it a family? Like from our first two guests, we've kind of got this been sort of family pulling them in to support a certain team or support football in a certain way. How did you kind of meet football, let's say?
Well, Tinder just swiped left and we got on. My old man was massive into coaching. He played a bit as a wee lad, and then old age got over him, and he started kids football. But he did like 2 years above my age group, so I could never kind of play for my old man. So I went and played for another side with my uncle used to run, which I actually talk quite a lot about on stream, to be fair, because unfortunately he's passed away now, but he was a massive role model to me and in football. And I remember playing at Swindon Town's ground at like 9 years of age, I think it was, for a knockout tournament, and I was in goal and I saved in penalties at the end. I saved the penalty and I scored the winner. Literally probably my greatest ever football moment. But to be honest, I love football. My old man is a United fan. His dad's a United fan, and it goes all the way back. And it's just grabbed me. I'm just fascinated. I wish like you could study football at school and like take it as a GCSE, because I might have actually come out with one of them then.
Dude, mate, my university degree is in football, so it's possible nowadays.
Yeah, no, but you have to get to university first.
But there is that. Yeah, true.
Have you seen any of my content? I literally am thick as you like. But no, it's I play as a character. I'm definitely very much more intelligent than I make out. But no, football's just tremendous, right? And we can all kind of tailor it back to the old man or your grandpa or somebody there. Your gran, you better make it impartial nowadays. There's somebody there that introduces you to it. And I was very lucky to be brought up in a household that was mad about football. Even my old dear was mad about football. And the extended family, people used to meet up and sit on Sunday lunches. We used to just meet up down the pub to watch football. And that's how I used to see my uncles and my aunties and all that. We just all used to be down the pub watching the football. So for me, yeah, football's just been a absolute staple of me growing up.
Well, I think that's how a lot of people, I think a lot of the FM community, from what I know of certain people, and hopefully in the future we'll get to hear stories from from a lot, hopefully, of the other members of the community and further afield. That's really interesting. I think the family side of it seems to draw a lot of people in, and it kind of gives you that open path to see where it can lead to and where obviously other people where your family have taken it and how they support their team. So just for clarity there, you said you support...
I'm a Manchester United fan.
Oh, there it is.
Lads,
so you and IJ will get on. I should probably leave and leave you to it. But no, that
I've been
leads
very
me.
lucky. God, I'm sorry. I just add this last bit. I've been very lucky. So, as much as like my dad's been just United fan, he's only ever been to 2 games. So his granddad took him. So his granddad used to live very close to the ground. And he was staying one time, and he was able to go, and he took him when he was a really young lad. And then my dad took me when I was a really young lad. I was it was in the '99 season. We beat Coventry 2-0. And Ronnie Johnson scored a screamer. And I reckon that without me being there, they wouldn't have won the treble. That season. And I
All the
remember,
credit.
I can
Mm.
like since. And this year, Manchester United played AC Milan at Cardiff Millennium Stadium, and it's not too far down the road from me. It's about an hour. And I said to the old man, I said, look, I've got tickets. Let's go. We're just going to go. I'll take you, all that jazz.
Wow.
And like my dad was proper emotional. It wasn't at Old Trafford, but it was like, look, you know how difficult it is to get tickets at Old Trafford and all that jazz. This is the moment. Just soak it up, soak it in. And like he was getting proper welled up, and it's amazing to see what football can do to a grown man. Like this man's what. He's buried his brother. He's seen like his grandkids, and I've never seen him cry. Yeah, he was crying over 22 men on a football pitch. So it's just mental to see what emotion does. And we're driving back, and he's like, "Look, if there's any chance over the next 5 years, we can just get up to Old Trafford once. Just seize it, take it, do it."
Wow.
Well, he didn't know that literally a week later, I had tickets to go, and I had. And like every Saturday, I used to do a little routine. Granted, I stream at the moment, but I used to go and grab a paper, or grab some flowers, or grab some chocolate, just take it up and see the old dear and the old man. And I walked up to his door, and I knocked on the door, and he's like, "Where's my paper, mate?" I was like, "You're not gonna need that today, pal." Handed him a ticket, and like he just burst into tears like a little boy. And to be fair, this year I'm quite lucky. We've got a couple of lads at work that's got season tickets, so we've taken. I think we've done 6 games this year. And my old man's been to all of them with me, and he's just loving it. He's absolutely loving it. And it's just great that, the guy can introduce you to the sport. He can make you fall in love with the sport. And then you can just give that back, and be in a position to say, actually, come on, let's go. But it's mad. It's absolutely mad. It blows my mind.
That is crazy, man. That's just sitting there and listening to that. It just shows you that football has this deeper connection, I think, than a lot of other things. That you can love film and you can love all these things, but actually going and being in that atmosphere, I think, brings something different out of people.
It's mad, man. Like I haven't. It's like a lot of my younger adult life and now life is just work. I work. I'm a bit of a workaholic, so I didn't. For the last 10 years, I might see my old man, on a Saturday morning for 5 minutes, and that's about it. So it's nice, it is a trek. It takes about 3 hours to get there, 2.5 to get back, but it's a whole day that we're together and we get to chat and catch up. And but I haven't told him. I'm pretty sure he won't listen to the podcast. It's no offense.
No, that's fine.
But
no, I'm fully taking offense to that.
we are. Well, I'm on the wait list for an adult and a child season ticket. And I'm only. You have to pay like a little bit extra each week to get the child seat upgraded to an adult. And that's going to be, hopefully, fingers crossed, a little present for him next year that I can guarantee him all the big games and half of the rest. So my little boy won't want to go, but it's just a cheaper way in. I hope Manchester United aren't listening.
No. I think that's the way a lot of people do it nowadays. That makes
definitely
makes a lot of sense, man. That's amazing. That is tremendous. Like, applaud that, because that's as someone whose dad is a West Ham fan and I'm a Brighton fan, we don't usually share that kind of connection with the team, so it's not quite the same. But no, that's amazing.
Could probably sitting in the stand at West Ham is probably like sitting in the stand at Brighton and watching the West Ham game. That's how far away you are, right?
Yeah, true. You can probably see more of the pitch from the Amex than you can from the Olympic Stadium.
Amex is great. Brighton's a great club.
It's my local team, so they'll be different. But we'll get there one day. We'll have this conversation where I'll detail my past with the club. But so that's amazing, man. Like you're saying there with supporting your team. I mean, it's probably, you're talking there about Man United and seeing them more next season.
Well, if we're allowed to, right?
Well, within reason. Next season might be next calendar year, so
Yeah.
Let's all keep our fingers crossed we can get back in stadiums as safely and as quickly as possible. But speaking about Man United, there obviously they'll be back in action next week. We can talk a little bit about football while we're here. How are you feeling about sort of the run back in now? And I mean, by the time this podcast is up, Man United will have been back.
I
How
wouldn't
you
make
feeling?
any predictions then. Look, I think it's like it's weird, right? So it's not because it's staged, it's phase returns, and not everyone's back at the same time, and everyone's got different ways of doing it, and it's anyone's game. That first weekend is going to see some crazy results.
Mm.
And I think like the Bundesliga, they're saying like 20% of the home teams are winning the games. Like previously, it's a lot higher than that. 40% of the away teams are winning, which normally it's reverse. So it's just mental. Like we go and play Tottenham first game. We smashed Tottenham at our place. Granted, it was only 2-1. I was at that game with my old man, funny enough. And like the place was bouncing, and I honestly think United would not have won that game if that place was not bouncing, because it was Mourinho versus Ollie. Mourinho's first game back at Old Trafford, and it was just, honest to God, it was so that helps push them over the line, and that is going to be a massive factor. I honestly personally think that it has to be 100% safe before we can go sit in the ground. Like it has to be, and I don't want to rush that back. As a massive lover of the sport, and I want to be there, and I want to be sat in that stand, but it's got to be safe. So as the longer it takes, honestly, it sounds stupid, but the better, because the safer it will be. But it is going to miss a big thing. We got the Spanish game on now. The La Liga. There's some lunchtime football that we watch. Like I've got on the telly, and it's like it's so weird just seeing it with nobody there.
Yeah, it's eerie.
Horrible. And I think that's going to be a massive factor. I really do. And I think it's going to really level this playing field off a bit. I'm going to put a bold statement out now, and I'm going to say I think Liverpool might win the league.
That's big. That's big. Someone clip that. I'll clip that. That'll be right on for the end of the season.
Mate, I would happily have you clip that, because I was wrong. Like 100%. I would happily take any stick I get for that, because I would love it. I'd love it if they lost that league. Which they
Who wouldn't? Who wouldn't? Apart from Liverpool fans.
I honestly think a couple of Liverpool fans would at this rate.
It'd be more memorable. To lose it like now would be more memorable than to win it, even in the circumstances.
Well, talking about United kind of building back up to the back playing again, have you guys seen Man United's pre-season, their results against West Brom the other day? They played 2 60-minute matches. They lost the first game 3-1 to West Brom, and they won the second game, I think it was 2-0 or something like that. And in the first game, Man United had their basically full strength side out. Do you think that when they come back, they'll be as good as what they were finishing like at the end of the season?
If anything, like for United, it was a bad time to stop. We were just hitting the stride. Bruno come in, and Bruno was playing. He's just doing some tremendous things. We are quite lucky. Rashi's back. He's out. He's not injured anymore, which we wouldn't have had. And obviously Pogba, he's back. There's no injury for him. But I think it's going to be a shock to the system. We do go in against a very good team, and then we've got Norwich the week after in the FA Cup. And I don't think we'll be hitting the ground running, but I don't think anybody's going to be hitting the ground running.
No.
And I think, to be honest, out of this whole coronavirus pandemic for a lockdown, I think I will join. I mean, I'm biased because I'm a United fan, but I think the way that United have handled things, and the way that, especially like Marcus Rashford, we mentioned him earlier, like, granted, he has had a good season. He's been injured. He's not everybody's cup of tea, but what that guy, like, seriously, go and look what that guy's done during this pandemic, and see that he should be Sports Personality of the Year. I'm going to start the campaign here. Like, what he's done during this is, like, he's learned sign language just to judge a school poetry competition. Stuff like this is just like, it blows your mind. Or what he's raised 20 million quid, so every child in Manchester can eat. And I don't think he deserves a lot more credit. I mean, that's nowhere near what the question was, but that's what I'm going with.
No, I think that's a fabulous answer. I think you've given the appropriate answer there to the question.
Yeah. Talking a little bit more about football, we don't want to stick on to football for too long, but do you think United only need 2 or 3 signings, maybe Sancho, Maddison, and a centre-back to challenge for the league, or do you think it's a wider problem?
It's a wider problem. Look, I've always been. I'm a rare Manchester United fan. I'm very unbiased. I'm happy to sit here and I'm happy to slag my team off where it needs to be, and I'm quite happy to sit here and praise them. I think the signings that we have brought in since Ollie's taken over, I think have been brilliant. I really do. I can't. you can see what he's doing. Yeah, you can see the kind of the ethos that he's going and the philosophy, and you can see where he's heading, and he's going for the young players that want to play for the club. Now, I don't think Sancho will come. I think you could chuck all the money at the world at Sancho, and I don't see why he would want to join Manchester United at this current moment in time. At this moment, we're not going to be joining the Champions League next year. I feel that it's a bit harsh because I think we probably could have done a really good thing in Europe and maybe won the Europa League. But I think Sancho wouldn't come. So then you have to drop down a level, and you have to drop down on a level of quality, which then it goes from needing 3 players, a centre back, a striker, and I can't remember what you said, and a left winger, to needing more because you all you're doing is you're filling up the depth, and we don't have a lot of depth. You know, we've got Phil Jones, Chris Smalling, Jesse Lingard, but I think it's going to take a couple more years yet. But as a Manchester United fan and an honest Manchester United fan, I'm almost happy with what I'm seeing, and you're seeing the players come in and you're seeing the improvement. You know, like Harry Maguire, a lot of people are giving him a lot of stick, but you see that he's played every single game. Compared to this time last year, you know, all of our defending stats are up compared to last year. Wan-Bissaka, like, I mean, that guy, and like watching him live is just like how he gets his leg, where he gets his leg is just tremendous. And Daniel James, I think what he's done, and he's as young as he is, and he's a perfect outball. He's a perfect counter-attacking player, and that's what, you know, we were trying to do against the bigger teams, and we've done well against the bigger teams. I can't fault any of those signings. I just hope that he pushes on and he gets who he wants.
Yeah,
but I don't think he'll be. I don't think he'll be going big. Like I just can't see Sancho coming. Like I'm happy to be proven wrong at the end of the day. And there's a lot of football's not had anything. The papers have not had anything to talk about for 3 months. So there's been some ridiculous rumors. But I've got a bit of faith. I think we've got to stick with Ollie and just hope that he can carry on the way he's going. But we've got to be honest that it's not going to be next week. You know, we're not going to challenge for the title next year. No chance. Not especially when you're not seeing what Chelsea are buying.
Yeah, that's
you know.
A very interesting conversation.
City is going to be a very interesting club next year. You know, if they're banned for 2 years, right? Even if it gets banned for a year, is Sane going to want to sit there for 2 years and not get Champions League football? De Bruyne, is he going to go out? I'm at the peak of my age. I want to be winning that Champions League. I'm not staying here. So
yeah,
you could
absolutely.
get a big shift here, you know, and you don't know. Sane would be great at United.
He actually would be. That's a fantastic.
I love Sane, mate. I love Sane. I think
United down to
which is difficult to say as a Manchester United fan, and he's obviously a City player. And that's what I'm saying. I'm unbiased, you know, and I appreciate quality football, and Sane is quality.
That's really
even
interesting.
If his trim's a bit dodgy.
Yeah, he seems to have gone in a different direction, let's say, than his original brand. But that's really interesting. I think it's interesting. We've spoken with our first couple of guests about their clubs and what they would do. I mean, we had an interesting discussion in our last pod with Jake about Newcastle, Aberrant FC, and he was talking about how he would do it and how he would approach it. I think that makes a lot of sense, Doop, what you're saying there, and I think that probably is the closest to what's going to happen in the next months. I
think my views are very much. I take my views on real life football into my Football Manager football, right? So. Like my management on Football Manager. I mean, I know we're not onto the Football Manager part yet, but I'm going to plug because that's why I'm here. It's like with my Palermo save that you can see every night at 9 p.m. at twitch.tv/Doop. That Palermo save, like we are building slowly, and we are building. We started by buying like the first season in Serie A, we're buying 18, 19-year-olds. The next season we're buying 19, 20-year-olds. Which is what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get them all to peak at the same time, and we're trying to build slowly. And we're expecting a 9th, 8th, and we've just finished 10th this morning. But you just got slow and steady wins the race. Look at like what Mourinho did, what Van Gaal did, bringing all these, Falcao, Di Maria, these mega money signings, and you're just cramming them in and you're putting round pegs in square holes, and it's just not going to work.
Yeah, it seems that very rarely that short-term fixes actually fix things. In the recent game, you look at the clubs that are at the top now; they're all long-term projects.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Liverpool. How long has Klopp been at Liverpool? Yeah, granted they won the Champions League last year, but apart from that, they've done nothing, right? Yeah, they've just exploded because what they've done is they've started buying sensible players and they've peaked well. I mean, you've got to take your hats off. Again, painful for me to say, but you've got to take your hats off to it because it is the right way of doing things.
Yeah, and I think that comes across
Yeah,
actually
normally.
in a lot of Football Manager saves. This idea, it's obviously much easier. I think we can get the segue to Football Manager quickly now. Is probably the best way to do it. But just before we do that, these ideas that having a project that has one single sort of process and procedure, and sometimes it doesn't work with managers. I think Mourinho rubbed against it when Man United tried to do something similar. That it kind of it can cause issues. I think, but that makes a lot of sense. And like you say, I think football. If your football opinions don't feed into Football Manager, then I'm not sure how that would work. Trying to sort of artificially create one, I think, can cause a lot of issues for people. Definitely.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I do agree with that.
So yeah, we've heard your your football origin story, let's say. But how did you get into Football Manager? How did you stumble across the game that we've labelled it this the first couple of pods, the greatest football game ever made? There are probably people from like the 90s that will say otherwise, but you know.
Are we going to say that every single
Yeah,
episode,
we'll say it every single week until we get sponsorship from Pez.
Yeah,
you know, it is what it is, really. So ultimately, yeah, not a problem. But yeah, so Doop, how did you get into Football Manager, man?
A big contract, really. They phoned me up. They asked me. Oh, hang on, that's the wrong one. Kellogg's cornflakes, mate. Like my love of Kellogg's cornflakes, and there was a disc inside the box. It was a giveaway they were doing. Only when you bought Kellogg's cornflakes, you got one of the iterations of the game. Like
no way.
Yeah, man. Like seriously, 6.3 or whatnot. And I used to play. Me and my brother used to play, and like I used to just be like, we had a PC that was so old, sat downstairs, and like my brother would be the manager and I'd be the assistant. And then we worked out you could add an extra manager. So funny enough, he used to be United and I used to be West Ham.
Oh wow.
And we used to just literally spend hours playing it. And then he just kind of stopped playing and I just picked it up and I just ran with it. And like to the point where like I took it quite seriously. I mean, if you see my streams, you see that I take it quite seriously now. But it's easy to kind of take it seriously when people are watching. But like even when people aren't watching, like it's funny, like Facebook, they have their memories on Facebook, and there was a memory the other day of where my wife had to go away with work, and I put the week off anyway, so I was like, I'll just come with you, and I'll just sit in the hotel. She's like, what are you gonna? I'll just sit in the hotel room, just chill around, go for a swim, go for a walk or whatnot, and we can have some nice dinner and that. Anyway, I spent 5 days taking Toulouse from the bottom of Liga into the Champions League final, and there was like a big dinner on the Friday night, and she comes up from the conference that she was at, and it's like 2:30, and she's like, "Why are you in a suit?" And I was like, she's like, "Why are you in a suit? Like the dinner's later." And I'm like, screw the dinner, darling. We've just got past the semi-final. We're in the Champions League final now. This takes like priority. And she's like, you're an idiot. You know, this is like back FM 13 or 14.
And the terrible fact is, you weren't even streaming to anyone.
No, I wasn't streaming to anybody. The terrible fact is that she went down to the dinner and I missed the dinner.
No way.
I went down for the main course. I missed the starter, and then the terrible thing was the next day when we checked out, and there was a £38 fee for a champagne bottle because we won, and I ordered room service for champagne. So yeah, I mean
that's amazing.
I take it quite seriously. I mean,
quite.
I mean, you know, when in Rome or. When in Milton Keynes, I think that's where we were. You know, you gotta take it seriously, don't you? Oh, man, trying to explain that to the missus. She's like, because the worst thing is she's like, why have you ordered champagne at like 2 in the afternoon or 4 in the afternoon? When I'm down at having the dinner, did you have somebody around? Well, actually, darling, no, I didn't. But what we did have is we had the trophy round. You know what I mean? we passed that around.
I couldn't believe that.
But we ended up winning the Champions League with Toulouse.
Congrats.
And, yeah, you know. But to be honest, I'm going to do a very bad joke here. Like, to be honest, you got to go all out because at the end of the day, you've got nothing to lose.
Hey!
Oh no! Can we not?
I'm going to edit in the old. That'll be in there.
I did warn you of a terrible joke.
No, it's fine. If it's got a warning before it, you can make it. It's fine. It's not a problem.
Tremendous.
No, that makes a lot of sense.
That's kind of the early part of me taking this seriously. I also remember getting Swindon Town into the Johnson St Trophy, or St Johnson. I can't remember what trophy it is. It's the Football League National crappy leasing trophy or whatever they call it nowadays. But I got them into the final. One strange Wednesday evening, and I walked down into the living room in my suit, and she's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Playing FM." She's like, "Oh, okay." And then she kind of just like the problem is like I met my missus really early, and we've been together ever since, and she's used to my nonsense, as you can probably tell with like the Streamer Showdown and all that jazz. Like she's used to all that shit. So for me, like I was just saying to her, look, you have whatever you want on the telly, darling. I'm just going to sit here with my laptop and play Football Manager. So I used to get through loads of Football Manager, and she used to be happy as Larry watching all what she was watching. And then it moved to, right, I'm going to buy a setup and pull it to the side of the bed. So when I used to stream and when I first started streaming, I didn't have a green screen. I used to have a circle camera. And the reason I had to have a circle camera was because 9 times out of 10, my wife was behind me asleep. Because it was the only space that we had. We just had a baby, so the spare room was gone, and it's the only space that we had. And it's on my Instagram at the moment. Like I had a wardrobe, and I cut the bottom of the wardrobe off, and I put a desk in there.
No,
And I used to stream from there. Yeah, it literally it's just the only way I could do it. And then
That's amazing.
So like people look at my setup now, they go, "Oh my god, look at this!" I mean, it wasn't always like this, you know. I had
that's
to
incredible.
literally sit on the edge of the bed for about 18 months whilst I streamed because we had nowhere else to do it. Like before that, going back even further, I had nowhere to do it. I had nowhere to put a setup, so I put it in the loft.
Wow.
No, seriously, the loft wasn't converted. I went up into like the first bit of our loft was like boarded, and then it was just rafters and beams and installation and boxes that we had chucked up there. I put a fan up there that sucked fresh air from outside up to upstairs, and I just streamed from up in the loft, and it was so hot. But again, I wanted to stream. It was the only place I could stream.
That's incredible.
That says a lot, man. That says a lot about your commitment to it. That you'd
And I mean, now I'm sat in like the biggest room in the house.
I mean, there is that.
I've now got a marine fish tank in one corner.
We'll forget about that.
A smoke
mini fridge
machine
and a
behind
kettle. I could probably live in my man cave. Like, I could probably survive in here for about a month, to be honest.
That's probably been good recently.
I've got food stocked up.
I've just been before we start, I had to go to a couple of shops. I'm a bit of a Monster fan, so I've just stocked up on a bit of Monster.
Oh, lovely.
Late night streams.
What was it?
Which one? My favourite is Mango Loco. I have a bit of a weird obsession with other things, drinks as well. Drinks have always been a big part of my stream, because I just like weird and wonderful stuff. So at the moment, I'm addicted to Fijian water.
Oh wow!
Which is like ridiculously overpriced for just water. And I'm currently paying more to drink water than I am to fill the fuel in my car.
Does it even like taste any different?
Oh, it's tremendous, mate. Honestly, God, it's like it's just such a great taste. I would fully recommend it. It's currently on Amazon for £1.33 a litre. It is tremendous, and I bulk buy it. So, like, I've just got like stocks of this Fijian water. And I've been bullied by everybody in the community about the fact that I drink this Fijian water, which is just tap water from some bloke in Manchester as he sells it all off. I live in the south, right? I live in the southwest, Swindon. Like, I mean, it's a big enough place. You're not going to find me. I live in Swindon, and
I'm very close. I'm very close.
How close?
I'd say that feels a little bit like a
half an hour.
So I live near Swindon. Out the way, further than you think, and like the water's horrible down here. It's such a like hard scaled area, so I gotta drink high quality H2O, as the man once said, right?
Hey, you've got to keep yourself fueled.
Exactly that.
Oh no, fair enough. But that makes a lot of sense, man. I feel like we've maybe wandered from your origin story of Foot Manager, but I feel like we've hit a lot of quality content there.
You know what? I think this is the best thing about podcasts is when you do go off on the tangents.
Yeah.
Because, that's the relaxed it's better content, I promise.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's what we
that
found.
because I went off on tangent, probably, but still.
Hey, you got to back yourself. Not a problem. But yeah, that makes sense. I feel like we can go to our next question, but that makes a lot of sense. So if you had to pick, you've got them all in front of you, you've got every iteration of the game. Which one, if you had to pick one to say it was your favourite, and maybe just best affiliation with, because I think favourite and best are just completely different things, and people ask that same question. But which would you say is your favourite Football Manager that's come out?
18.
Oh, good shout.
FM18. Not because of the game, because of the save.
A lot of people have said that we've
Yeah.
asked them to.
So I did a Forest Green save. They just got promoted into League 2. Actually, it might have been 17. Could have been 17. One of them two. Anyway, they just got promoted into. It doesn't matter. The save is important, not the game. They just got promoted into League. Very kind of, for such a small club, they're quite well known. You know, they push the boundaries on the green, and obviously they're the vegan club and all that. And they're just down the road where I used to live in closer to Forest Green than I do now. And I just went down there and I was like, I'm going to do a save at Forest Green. And I was wandering around and I went to like an FA Cup game. I got chatting to a guy that I used to like play football with, and he's like, "Look, we need a guy to wave the flag as the teams come out. Do you want to do it?" And I'm like, the minute they like, I'm in, I'm done. Like, this is a great like picture or video to put in the intro. Did that anyway. I started chatting to people, and then I started the save, and I went vegan for like 6 weeks when I started the save. So I went proper committed, and the save went really well. We did a 24-hour stream in the save as well. Charlie knows how good 24-hour streams are.
They're amazing.
And you know, we just had fun with it, and we rolled with it, and we got promoted, and we did well. And Eddie Nketiah, the love of Eddie Nketiah was born. We got him in at League 2, and we loaned him all the way up to the Premier League, and he just smashed it every season. And then we bought him on a free.
Oh my goodness!
Then Forest Green the Forest Green's owner followed me on Twitter. I think to this day he still follows me now. You know, I'm going to check that just for facts.
Just to make sure,
yeah. Dale Vince doesn't follow me anymore. Okay, that's fine.
That's embarrassing, isn't it?
Should we cut that? That's the campaign.
So it's fine. It's fine.
Should we cut that?
I don't mind. You win some, you lose some, pal. It's fine. At least I'm honest. I could have said, yeah, he's followed me. Do you know? He did used to follow me because he used to tweet me quite a lot. Anyway, he followed. I used to play football with his son. Anyway, that's a long story. And then like this, the social media guy, like Forest Green, followed me, and then a DM comes up, and it's like, we've got this Football Manager event, like we've got this Christmas event, and we want to include Football Manager in it. Would you be cool to come and do some stuff for us? And I'm like, yes, of course. You know,
yeah.
Like the immersion of the save is just tremendous. So we go down there and we're sat in like the changing room, and their striker Luke James comes out, and Scott Laird comes out, ex-Preston North End, who scored against David De Gea. You know, this guy, you know, he's been around the block, but he's a great guy. Sat down and we're doing the Football Manager quiz, and I'm like, fucking, what's going on here? This is mental. Just like your mind is just blown. Anyway, we get up and we start, like the cameras turn off and we start chatting. I'm like, can you do a little bit for the 5-star pod? Can you just, like, when I'm not busy, I'm listening, you know, all this stuff, bit of advertisement and all that. And then Scott goes, oh, so where are you from? And I'm like, oh, I live in a little town called Cirencester. He's like, oh yeah. I was like, yeah. Why's that, mate? Because like this overran and all the guys have gone and I could do with a lift. Could you give me a lift back to Ciren? I'm like, yeah, no problem. So we're just sat driving from Chip. It's about 45, 50 minutes. And I'm just like, what do we talk about? Like, you're a professional footballer. You've asked me for a lift, right? I'm really conscious on how I'm driving as well. You know, imagine that he gets into a car crash and like writes his season up, and I'm like, oh, because the guy that does Football Manager content broke his leg or something. And we start chatting, like, he's just proper sound guy, and he's like, look, if you need like, I dropped him off. He's like, look, if you need anything, I think he offered me petrol money, which I refused, but it's like, if you need anything, just let me know. Anything you need with Football Forest Green, with your stuff, let me know. And I'm like, oh man, cheers. And you like, people say stuff like that all the time, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm trying to buy a football shirt. So again, with my saves that I enjoy, I like to buy shirts and like get a new gen or get one of the main players on the back of the shirt. And I think, well, I'm going to get an Eddie Nketiah number 9 Forest Green shirt.
Yeah.
Could I find one? No. Like, not with Forest, obviously not with Eddie Nketiah, but could I find a Forest Green shirt? No. So like, I messaged him, I'm like, look, I don't care what it is, I just need a Forest Green shirt with a 9 Eddie Nketiah on. And he's like, yeah, no problem, sorted. I'm like, what? Okay. Wow. Like, just come and pick it up. So I drove around, I picked it up, and he's like, look, I'm at a game tomorrow, do you want to come? I was like, yeah, I'll come. Is there anything else that you need? I'm like, yeah, mate, I'd love it if the team, I mean, I'm pushing it here, mate. Like, I'm pushing it. I'd love it if you just get like, I'll chuck it on the side in the changing room and just get them all to sign it. So, oh, I don't know about that. So, oh yeah, man, I don't want to push it. Don't worry, because I'll see what I can do. Anyway, the game played and all that. It was pretty cool, just watching the game. And then afterwards, he's like, just meet us around the back. So I went around the back to the tunnel, the players' entrance. He pops his head out and he just gives me the shirt. And it's just signed by the whole team.
No
This
way.
is cool. So I framed it. It's all up in the wall. And then it kind of like, it just fizzled off. Like I didn't need anything from Forest Green. They didn't need anything from me. We had still played the save, and then we ended the save. I played it offline, but we ended the save. We went on to Roma, I believe, after that. Which again was a great save, which is why I love this version of the game so much. And then like I went to watch a game about 3 or 4 months later and didn't like put anything on Twitter or anything like that. Just went and watched the game. And I'm stood in the ground, and I've got my soya latte because everything's obviously vegan. And like, Doc comes over and he's like, he starts running over and starts talking to me. He's like, "Oh man, how's it going?" He's like, "Oh, we need somebody for flags again. Do you want to do that?" I was like, "Yeah, no problem. That's fine." So I start waving this flag again, right? And Jordan Stevens, is it Jordan Stevens? I think it is. Jordan Stevens. He used to play for Forest Green, but he was sold to Leeds, right? He was in the streams. He used to come in the streams and watch the streams, right?
Yeah.
I knew that he'd done it because his like name tag had come up, and like I got it verified that it was actually him, because people like take the piss sometimes. And I'm like, and I didn't want to play on that, but I thought it was really cool. One of the players is coming to watch. So I'm putting this flag away at the end of the game, and it was Wickham they were playing, and Akinfenwa's coming down the touchline.
Yeah.
And as I stand up, I'm putting this flag in, right? And Jordan Stevens is coming towards me, and Akinfenwa's coming towards, like, not towards me, but past me, because the tunnel's on the right hand side. And George goes, "Yo, man, how's it going?" And Akinfenwa went, "Yeah, but not bad." He went, "Oh, sorry, man, I was talking to him."
Oh my god! Can you imagine?
And I was like, "Yeah, man, how's it going, man?" And I'm just like, "Please don't punch me. Please don't punch me. Please don't punch me." And he just kind of like huffed and walked off. But yeah, then I started talking to him, and the whole save was just, as much as the save was fantastic because we had a great storyline and we did so well, like the immersion with the club and getting the club involved and doing the vegan, it was all in all just like a tremendous save. It really was.
Yeah, I
That's
think
crazy.
what you say there, that is the beauty of Football Manager, how immersive it is. You know what I mean?
I've been tremendously lucky with it. I've been really lucky with it. So I don't know whether it's just like I said, pure luck or not. So we tried to do a Swindon Town Moneyball save. And I reached out to my cousin because he lives with the head of social media and the head of ticketing of Swindon Town.
Yeah.
And we're like, "Oh, come on, we must be able to do something, right?" And he's like, "Well, what do you want to do?" I was like, "Look, I just want to record an intro. Let me just record an intro at Swindon Town. Take a couple of pictures in the dugouts, 10 minutes tops. All I ask." And they're like, he goes, "All right, let me see what I can do." Anyway, about an hour and a half later, he's like, "Yeah, I've got you 10 minutes. I was like, "Mate, that's brilliant." I was like, "When do you need it?" He's like, "Come down this time, say this person's name, and do it." And I got Joe from Friday Night FM from We Stream FM. He drove all the way up from Essex, right?
What?
To come and like take the pictures and stuff. And like I turned up, I was like, "I'm here to see such and such." He's like, the woman behind the counter, she's like, yeah, no problem. So if you just want to head over, he's like, jump over the counter and go through the door. I'm like, "Yeah." So he told us we got 10 minutes. She went, "10 minutes? No, you got about 4 hours." I'm like, "What?"
No way.
And like we literally got the drones out. I mean, I don't know if you've seen the trailer. If you haven't, I'll show it to you.
I have. I didn't realize that it was actually all stuff you'd shot and everything. That's crazy.
All stuff that we shot. We had done it all there and there, and it was just in a 4-hour window, just completed all of this. And then it was just like, we were so lucky with the immersion, you know what I mean? The fact that we've got this club talking to us and helping, you know. And then they went and won the league title this season. I don't want to say I've got to take credit for some of that, but I've got to take credit for some of that.
I mean, that does sound like you do have to take credit for that. I don't know.
Yeah, you got a bit of money into the club, you see.
When's the medal arriving?
Yeah, I don't think I made enough appearances. I think I got on the pitch more than some of those other players. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, really? It sounds like the whole story is crazy, man. The fact that clubs are willing to engage with it is mad. Like, you get this perspective, I think, from a lot of places.
I think clubs have been brilliant this year, obviously with the lockdown and that, and they've done the EFL Cup, and Swindon Town then approached me to ask me to manage the team in the EFL Cup, and we played we played Birmingham and we played Lee Camp, their goalkeeper, at the game. And
Yeah.
like they were like, yeah, so their video guy was like, yeah, we've seen the video you made. Can we just have that and just like we'll snip bits off of it? I was like, yeah, fine, take it. And like I still got like an open DM with them, and I'm like, should I do a Swindon Town save next season? Because like I reckon I can get in with these guys, you know. So
It
especially
sounds
with League
possible.
One. So you never know.
That's amazing.
Exclusive.
Yeah. Exclusive announce, quick. Get on the Twitter.
Exclusive announcement that I might take a Swindon Town save next season.
It's funny. I won a giveaway on your channel where I've got a signed program from you. It's amazing.
So okay, let me give a context to this. I don't want people to think I'm an arrogant git here. So and this also kind of like puts one over on you anyway. So we did a charity stream, or I did a charity stream. I had members of We Stream FM help me, but I did a charity stream, to which I did 48 hours of live streaming. And we were like, right, we need giveaways. So we contacted a load of people, and I contacted Swindon Town and like, let have this scarf and this, and they're like, we've got a couple of old programs. Do you want them? I was like, yeah, we'll have them. And then I was like, oh, that's a great idea. So we went down to the ground, and when we were doing the shooting, we actually bought a load, and we signed it there and then in the thing to make it look like it was me signing it. It was going to be like a part and parcel of the trailer. It was a bit that didn't make the cut. It made my Instagram, but it didn't make the cut. And like I was talking to Joe, and I'm like, Joe, we've got these programs that I've signed. I'm like, what the hell do we do this? Like, give them away. People will love it. I was like, okay. So we just gave them away, and the giveaway. So like people have got like random Swindon Town.
How many were given away?
I think it was like 5.
Do you know how I had to explain that? I had to explain whose signature it was because it had like arrived, and I was like, yes, this is going to take a minute for me to explain this one.
But like, it was just like people were like, and the thing is in chat, like when we were giving away, I'm explaining it's a program for a game you didn't go, game you probably don't care about, signed by me and nobody, and Friday Night FM in the nicest possible way, and nobody. Do you want to win this? And like people were like, yes, come on, let's give it away. I know what? Why do so many people want to win this stuff?
Well, and Charlie's.
I was there.
Kane,
oh mate, I was like one of the first people. I was on it.
Charlie's such a fanboy.
Evidently, that's why Doop's here.
I'm here for the fee, mate. That's the only reason I'm here.
I mean, yeah. Sorry, was that love of the game? I'm just gonna edit me saying love of the game over you saying fee. It's gonna be a tight edit. It'll be fine. But I mean, yeah, that's amazing, man. Like I say, you just can't write those sorts of stories, and I think that's what we found from our first couple of guests is that you just can't write the stories you make in Football Manager. Like as much as it's a football game, it's a storytelling game. More than like 80% of most games nowadays, which are so formulaic, including that other football game that people play, which but you know we've dissed it, FIFA, yeah, which you can only really play in 4 or 5 different ways, and then that's kind of it. Whereas like Football Manager, you can't write the stories that come up for Football Manager.
Yeah. One question I would like to ask Doop, if Charlie will allow me to, is have you ever played FIFA? Have you ever been into FIFA? I know.
Yeah, I got into debt because of FIFA. It's a bad game, kids. Don't play it. No, I'm joking. I have played FIFA. Yeah, Ultimate Team's obviously the only way to play.
Yeah,
I think it's ridiculous that they allowed people to gamble money on packs. But hey, that's their marketing team. I actually prefer playing the pro clubs, and We Stream FM have had like a little pro clubs team before. And everyone got incredibly rustled, and we don't play anymore.
I wonder why. That seems like a group of guys that definitely wouldn't turn on each other at the first sign of trouble.
Oh man, the
anyway.
thing is, like I've always said, like, oh, we'll just stream this, and then yeah, well, maybe we'll play a game, warm up, and then we'll stream it. And we get in the first game, and I'm, yeah, I'm not streaming this. The insults are coming around. I'm not streaming this. I don't want nothing to do with this.
It's going to end badly. That's fair enough. That's fair enough. But yeah, back to, I mean, yeah, I think we've, ironically, we can sit here and talk for an hour about Foot Manager, but I think FIFA, you can kind of sum up in about 30 seconds. Seems to be the case.
Play Football Manager instead.
Exactly that. Unless that FIFA want to drop some of those fat Ultimate Team coin money at us.
Yeah. If EA do want to sponsor this video, we're down. But
it's pod, yeah.
I'm only here for 1 week, so like, don't listen to my views.
No,
If
it
you
makes
wanna
a lot
get
of sense.
some
But
team coins, feel free to go to some place and put Doop in the checkout, and you'll get nothing off.
you'll get it'll be fine. But that makes a lot of sense, man. That's I mean, I can't really add any more to it. That's the best part of that one. But yeah, so it comes. We've talked there about your favourite Football Manager. How have you found Football Manager 2020? I know you had a bit of a break, didn't you, from at least streaming anyway?
Yeah, I mean, without going into too much detail, I was very lucky to have my second child at the start of just
Congratulations.
before the game. Cheers, man. I think it's mine. Just before the game came out.
Hang on. I need a minute.
He looks a lot like the postman. That's all I'm saying.
Sorry, carry on.
You okay? Can we go again?
I've got proof to talk on, so I'm just here laughing.
Okay, no, the only reason I'm saying that is because it goes from like pretty funny to pretty serious very quickly.
I mean,
All right,
for a second,
hang
it's a
on.
bit like, let's go. Let's move on. Move on quickly.
I'm composed.
Okay, so we had our second child. Thank you. It doesn't. I think it's mine. And then, unfortunately, he was born very, very early and had a lot of problems. And was in hospital for a long time, and like it affected me massively. You know, there's things that I saw and had to experience that like I wouldn't wish on anybody.
Yeah.
So much so, I was like, I need to step away from this. You know, real life needs me. You know, my wife needs me and all that jazz. So I kind of stepped away from the streaming and like I stepped away from everything. And then the new game came out. I'm like, I don't want to stay away from this. I want to be I want to be involved again. I was like, let's just do YouTube because YouTube's easy. I can pause it at any time. I can, even mid YouTube video that you record, you can pause the game, you can go and help whatever, and you can come back. It's not a problem. So I did like a dirty lead save. As a Manchester United fan, I did it, and I called the dirty leads. And it was, it was a different kind of format to what I've done in the past. It was a let's play, but it was a kind of a 6-minute video let's play. It was a bang, quick fire. Let's just get it. Like almost like here's the information, bang, take this. This is what's happened. Easy. And they were good videos, really easy to shoot. It was a bit of fun, and I did like little funny intros and stuff. And it was an interesting save for me. And then I went from that, and I was like, right, we're going to do the Swindon Town save. This is it. We're doing the Swindon Town save, and the difficult bit about the Swindon Town save was it was a Moneyball save, and I had done so much time and so much effort into researching how to do this Moneyball save and how the correct way to do it. And the first year or the first the first season of this, we were doing it, and we weren't picking results up, and it was just so much time that I'd come off stream and I'm spending 2 hours of exporting data each stream. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it kind of got to the end of the first season, and like I was just like, I can't do this. It's done. I'm done. I'm done with it. I'm done with Football Manager. I'm done with it's just burnt me out. So I kind of just walked away. I was still doing the pod, and I was playing an Ajax save offline. And it was 54 days ago. It was about 5 weeks ago. I said, you know what? I'm going to give it one more go.
Yeah.
And I remember I was on the flight back from New York with my wife, and I remember just before the pandemic hit, and my wife said to me, "Right, what are you doing with your streamer? Are you doing it? Are you manning up? Are you doing it, or are you just gonna sulk yourself to watching Twitch and not actually doing anything?" And I was like, "I'm gonna give it one more go." She goes, "Right, who you gonna?" And like literally the whole way back, it was like interrogation, man. Who are you gonna manage? How are you gonna go? What are you gonna do? When are you gonna stream? Are you gonna do it every day or what? And I started off like, all right, we're going to do Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and then we might do a Saturday stream or might do a Sunday stream.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to give it a go. And this is it. If it doesn't work, I'm done. Like, I can't. I'm not bothered about results, but like in me and how I felt.
Yeah.
And I did it for a week, and I'm like, this is amazing. It was like I felt like a new streamer again. I'm like, this is amazing. I'm addicted. So I was like, right, we're gonna do Tuesday night this week. Oh, we're gonna do Saturday night this week. We're also gonna do Sunday night. Oh, we're also gonna do Saturday morning. And I now stream 8 times a week. And I'm just full into it. I'm just loving it again.
Yeah.
And obviously, we were very lucky to get involved with the lowdown on the Streamer Showdown, and then we got promoted to the actual Streamer Showdown as well. And it's just been a bit of a whirlwind. Like I said, I've been back. Was it 54 days now? And like we've done something stupid like 65 streams.
Yeah, that's absolutely crazy.
back.
I mean, that's to come back with I'm going to say this, and I'm sure you probably won't want to hear it, but your content, the quality of it to come back with as well, I think has been the thing that's drawn everyone back so quickly. Like your audience seems to be really, really into it, and obviously you just wouldn't. It makes it so much easier, I think, to get in the swing of it.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, right? And I take my hat off to people that I mean, we've all been there. Okay, we've all been there where you're streaming and you got 2 people in. That to me is the hardest time as a streamer. It is brutal and that's tough. Yes, coming back on my, and we're averaging 70 viewers. It is easy because half the stream is written by your chat.
Yeah,
that's you know what I mean. Like you haven't got to come up with anything. And having the response and having the chat. But yeah, like we're very lucky. Like I said, we put a lot of hard work in from day one. Like when we first started streaming, back in the day, we did the network saves and we got our name out there. Obviously, the pod as well helps, but it's I'd like to think that my streams are just very chilled out, relaxed, a bit like this podcast, really. This is me. It isn't an act, it isn't a show. It's just me chatting, and you ask questions, or if you got a question in chat and you're like, so when was the I'm happy to go back and recite these stories and these chats about stuff that happens. I'm not going to hold that information, and I think that's why I hope that's why people enjoy the stream, that we're just so relaxed, but the tangents are unreal. And I mean, I find myself sometimes where I'm just sat back in my chair and I'm just chatting. I'm like, we probably should hit continue because we haven't played much Football Manager this stream because we've just been talking about my dog. Do you know what I mean? And stuff like that, I like to think that my stream is like a group of mates just getting together and having a catch up. But we do it every night and some days twice a day.
8 days a week.
Yes. Well, we have Thursdays off. I don't stream on a Thursday, but we do the 5-star pod on the Thursday. So we do a lot of content, and I'm just in the middle of literally once we finish this call, I'm recording my YouTube series. So I do have something coming out on YouTube, but I recorded like 5 episodes, edited 2, and I was like, this is pants. I don't like it. I just deleted it all. I was like, right, start again.
Wow.
And I don't think a lot of people do that. People think, oh, it's edited, it's ready, it's done, let's put it out. If I don't think it's good enough, I'm not going to put it out.
Yeah,
that takes a lot. That takes a lot to turn around. I think to turn around and go, well, not only is it not what you're happy with, but you're like, well, all that work I've done, I'm happy just to hit the reset button and go again with something you are happy with.
Okay, so one thing I will say, I'm not a YouTuber. I will comfortably say I'm a streamer, 100% a streamer. But one thing I will say, especially with YouTube content, is every time you make a video, it's practice. Whether you're recording a video, editing a video, even like publishing it on YouTube and putting all the tags in the thumbnail, it's all practice. And practice makes perfect at the end of the day. If you've done all of that, which I did and had them scheduled, and you're not happy with it, you haven't lost anything. Okay, you're not putting the video out, but you haven't lost anything because you've done the practice of setting everything up, recording it. That all went well. Then you've edited it. I might have been happy with the edit, but I'm not happy with the content. But you have to be honest with yourself, because there's too many people out there that will be honest for you in a way that you do not want to hear it. And the minute that you can sit back, it's amazing when people put a YouTube video up and you're like, hang on, there's an edit issue there. Like literally, it's blank for 5 seconds. And this is me. This was me on my first ever YouTube series, and I'm like, I don't even remember watching that back. I just remember getting to the end of the edit, hitting publish and hitting go, and like I didn't even watch it back. How do I know what that content is? And if you sit there and you watch your content and you go, oh, well, that's pretty shit, what do you think everyone else is going to think?
Yeah.
Exactly the same. If you enjoy your own content, people are going to enjoy it. I enjoy being in my streams. Granted, I'm streaming, but I enjoy sitting there chatting to everybody, and I'm enjoying my stream, and it comes across that I'm enjoying it. If I was sat there and I'm going, oh, this game's crap, yeah, oh no, I don't want to talk about that. Yeah, okay, brilliant. People's not going to enjoy that, because I'm not enjoying it. And I think that's a big thing.
Yeah, I think that's spot on. Like that element of, I mean, I'm very new to all this streaming. I know IJ's very new to this as well, to that kind of environment. And there have been times where I've sat there and gone, all right, I've tried to nail myself to a schedule, but I'll turn up some mornings and be like, oh, not feeling particularly up to it. And I think you just have to know when to sort of call it. And it comes with editing. I'm sure that comes with pretty much everything that when it comes to the content side of FM.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be completely honest, right? And say to you now, as a new streamer, you will do more damage of doing a stream that you're not up for than you would of cancelling a stream or missing a stream. Because if you go on and you do a 3-hour stream and you're feeling like crap and you don't want to be there, people are going to go, look at this guy, you know. Why would you ever come back, you know? Whereas if you go, look, guys, not great today. I'll catch you tomorrow. You know, you're not doing any damage there. Yeah, there might be a
makes a
couple
lot of sense.
Go, oh, I'd like to have watched him. Oh, we'll watch you tomorrow then instead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess the people that are interested are going to stay interested. I imagine when if you don't give them something that's below par. That makes a lot of sense, and I think if we're going to touch from that, I'm going to go back to something you mentioned a few minutes ago. And I feel like it's the elephant in the room. We've got to talk about it. Happened, I guess, by the time this comes out, it'll be a couple of weekends ago, and I'm sure the next edition of will have been announced. And we're not going to try and plug for details on, but more just a reflection on the one that's come. Streamer Showdown came through. Obviously, you didn't get quite the result you wanted.
I got exactly the result I wanted. To be honest. No, honestly, like this might sound like a cop out, right? Okay, so if you don't know what the Streamer Showdown is, it's 8 streamers get together. We do a draft. I was lucky enough to be involved in this one. It's run by Dr. Benji. You do 15 players from a certain league, and then 5 wildcards from the other 4 top 5 leagues. You draft it on the Wednesday. You do a league format on the Saturday, top to like first to 8, and then you draft. Then you do a knockout tournament, so like first plays last, and etc. etc. We started the tournament. I thought we drafted well. I drafted for a diamond formation, a formation that I play a lot of, and it turns out that it was all a big lie. I was never going to play the diamond. Everyone thought I was going to play the diamond. I drafted for a diamond and I played something else, which meant that we weren't as strong as we should have been. And that's what let me down. I knew that from day one, literally from the day I started playing. And I'm like, oh, balls this up. We didn't come bottom, which is what I said we wouldn't come bottom. I knew I wouldn't come bottom. And I said I'd get knocked out in the first round. Yeah, I think unfortunately that's what happened. But we had some fun with it. We had some interesting moments on that, and I feel that we may have won some people over with some of the comedy and some of the entrances because they were fun.
I mean, they were a visual wonder. I think the entrances alone, and we could probably sit here and talk for 20 minutes about the process that came with that, because that was. I think people from other streams were like, "What's going on? What's Doop done? What's going on over there?"
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, it's like it's a big moment, like to be involved with in a competition, making content with these guys, and you look down that list and you look at all of those guys, and they're like, you know, mental guys in the community, and you're thinking, how am I here, sort of thing. So I thought, pretty simple. I'm going to do a funny intro to come in on the Saturday. And that was it, you know. I knew I was playing Ben. Let's get the stream hyped. Your first game of the league. Let's get the stream hyped, right? So I put a smoke machine on, and I've got like a pull-down green screen. I pulled the green screen down, and I put All I Do Is Win by DJ Khaled. And then when he said, put your hands up, I pulled the green screen up, and then it's just me stood there with my hands up. And then I just start kind of like pumping it up and trying to pump the hype up. And then I didn't even think about it. Right? I didn't even think about it. The smoke machine was going, and I was at happy days. Right, done. No real production quality with that one at all. And then like it was the Saturday. We finished that stream. It was Sunday morning, and I'm in the stream after, and I'm like, people are like, so what's your income? Your intro tonight? I'm like, I haven't got one. You know, that was really? I'm like, no, I haven't got one. And then to the end of the stream, I'm like, I've got an idea. I'm going to do this. Make sure you're there at 7 p.m. sharp, and we're going to do the intro. And like, it was mental. Like my chat was going nuts. The hype was real. And we basically had the green screen down again. All the lights were out, apart from a strobe light on my desk that was doing strobe lights onto the green screen. The smoke machine was filling up, and we had Lose Yourself by Eminem. And then we popped the green screen up, and it was still pitch black, and it's just me in a hoodie, a snapback forward, and a COVID-19 face mask on. Look at that. I'm glad I had the face mask, man, because that stopped me from laughing. It hid my smile in my laugh, and I'm trying to look hard, and I'm not that hard, honestly. And then, like halfway through it, I'm like, Alexa, I'm not going to say it because she'll wake up, but like turn my office lights on, and when I do that, it turns all my blue LED lights on. And like with all the smoke and the effect, it just looked like I didn't even practice that, but they looked amazing.
Yeah.
And then we lost, so that was pointless.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, Honestly,
I will
mate,
vow
the
to
fact.
this day, right, I will vow to this day, if, and this is a big if, because I don't know. I mean, as much as you say you want to probe, I don't know what's
No, I
happening.
won't. No, we're not here to probe.
I genuinely don't know what's happening. And if I was to ever get an invite to the next one, we're gonna pump it up. We're gonna go bigger and better.
I mean, that's enough of an advert for you to go back as anything. Not that we're going to go into that, but that could be the other campaign from. We seem to be starting a lot of campaigns today, but
Yeah.
that can be the next one.
But the thing is, we like the Monday afterwards, like we'd streamed and the Streamer Showdown was down, and no, like Monday afternoon, nobody wanted to talk about the Streamer Showdown. Like in my chat that night, nobody's going, "Oh, you were crap." They were all like, "So when can we see another intro? Like when can we do this again?" Or like, well, if we get to a cup final, we got potential of winning the league or like a big game, we'll do it. But like, I'm not just gonna pump it out every bloody stream.
I mean, yeah, it's a bit hard to do that for a
mean,
Italian Cup game against the Serie D side. It's a bit of a.
Well, the thing is, I'm screwed over now because of the copyright. So
There is that.
Yeah.
I have a guy who does whose mate makes wrestling intros for amateurs, completely copyright free.
No, that's incredible.
So I have a guy working on a couple as we speak, just in
God.
case.
You're just going to be banging out to non-copyright tunes.
That intro is going to be mad.
Yeah,
I'm
and
very
the best thing
excited.
about that is I can upload it to my Instagram, because the minute I uploaded my Eminem one to the Instagram, it just got instantly banned in 86 countries.
Oh my god, that's not a great reception.
with his copyrights.
Wow, yeah, that's not great. But yeah, man, like we've had this conversation actually with our first two guests. We've spoken directly about the Streamer Show. We talk about the FM community in general, but I think during the lockdown, the Streamer Showdown has been, I think, the shining light that's come out of the FM community, to be honest. And the way that it's now branching out to people that weren't necessarily, I mean, even at the beginning of the lockdown, were your typical FM streamers. And I think it'd been very easy to keep it in the tent, but to bring people like Spencer and obviously James Alcott and the names that are being linked with now, I think it's just, it's props to Benji because he's smashed it, man. And all you guys are involved make it amazing. I think the mix of people he's got involved, and that obviously includes yourself, like as one of the forerunners of it, has been spot on all three times, which is, I imagine, bloody hard to do.
Yeah, I mean, the first and foremost, the props goes to Ben. Like, Ben is a machine. Like, I was in a call with him until 2:00 this morning. Right.
Jesus.
I mean, granted, I'm a machine because I come out of that 4 hours later. I went live, but we're in a
And
call,
you're on this pod now.
and I'm in this, and then I'm alive again later. You know, it's just machine. So yeah, I'm in a call with him, and like we're meant to be talking about setups, and then it moves to Streamer Showdown, and it's like the more and more you talk to this guy, like it just shows how passionate he is about what he does, and it is just remarkable. And Ben sets such a high level. And if you're not there, you're not there. You know, that's it. You've got to be at that level. Otherwise, you can't. It's so difficult. And like he'll put a message in, and it's like it's just so well thought off, and like, he's done so well with it. And yeah, absolutely, you got to take your hat off to him. Getting people in as well. You know, his contact list. It blows your mind when you think about when you're having a conversation of who's potential. I think one of the questions I asked him last night was like, where do you think the peak of the mountain is for a guest? Like, if you were to get somebody on, who's at the top of that mountain? He turns around and says Griezmann, right?
God, yeah.
Right. So he won't stop till he gets him on, you know, and that's the you know, I think I'm safe to say he said it in the streams before.
Yeah.
I'm 100% sure that if there was a slim chance, like he would get him on, he would do what he had to do to get him on, because that's the sort of dedication that he's got, and he just loves planning stuff and doing it, and he does it well. You know, he's relentless as well. Like the lowdown was pretty easy, like he just kind of turned up and did it, but like the Streamer Showdown is just like, yes, yeah, okay, yeah, I've got that, I'll send it over, yeah, that's fine. And you're just like, it's just mental. It is mental.
Yeah.
But it's the only way it works. And like people try to replicate it, and you'll see people try to do it. But the one thing they don't have is they don't have Ben.
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think you can see it in the content as well. The work paying off.
Yeah. I mean, he's done very well since the lockdown, since moving full-time streaming, and he deserves every bit he gets because the work that he puts in is phenomenal. It's a bit like Friday Night FM at We Stream FM. Like you don't see him. Nobody sees. You might see him in a Twitch chat or that, but the amount of work that guy puts in, we wouldn't have We Stream FM if we didn't have Joe. And like people go and do these other groups, but what they don't have a Joe. They don't have a Friday Night FM. They don't have a guy that's like literally to the point where I have a Trello board of all my social media stuff that's going up this week. You know, that's the sort of planning that we've got going on, and that's just one streamer out of the lot. You know, and we sit there like we could be random. I could be randomly anywhere in the day, and then a message comes through. It's like, just had an idea for your save, and I'm like, why are you thinking about my shit? You know, he's expecting baby. He's just gone for like self-employed. Like seriously, you got more things to worry about than my stuff. But you know, he's tremendous. He really is.
Passionate guys, man. And we'd love to have him on one day. He'd like, I've only ever heard him and gone, yeah, he sounds like one of the most interesting guys about. Definitely.
Oh, you think?
He's our,
I mean, he's
our goal.
He's your peak.
Yeah, man.
I'd reach a bit higher than him, to be honest. I mean, I love Joe, don't get me wrong, but I mean, just go Griezmann, right?
Go Griezmann, yeah. We've not robbed that from anyone, but you know, Antoine, if you're there.
Yeah. As you say, should we just drop him a message? It doesn't hurt.
I think he's probably a bit busy now, mate. I'm going to be completely honest.
I might have to use a bit of Google Translate as well.
His English is very good. Also, I probably would have done it about 6 weeks ago, you know, when he's not been playing football.
Yeah. I imagine he's probably missed our window on that one. I'm going to be completely honest.
Hang on. We're actually talking about Anton Griezmann coming on the pod. Like, no.
One day, you never know. But anyway, I mean, yeah. That sounds
big, mate.
That seems spot on, though, about the Streamer Showdown. I don't think it works without someone like Benji to be so passionate. I think it comes back for both of those guys you've spoken about. The thing that seems to join them is their passion for what they do. Yeah. And that you can't do it if you're not passionate about it. I think that's
the thing is which is mental, is that as much as we see Ben's success more than everyone else to be successful as well. You know, Ben's not sat there going, oh, well, if I get this guy in, this guy in, this guy in, this guy in, he's going to help me out. No. He's thinking, all right, if we get these group of guys in, everybody's going to get something out of this. And, you know, that's, you know, I don't know where, you know, people, because he is one, you know, he is the biggest streamer, you know, he's one of the biggest YouTubers for Football Manager. And I don't know whether people think he's unapproachable, but like, genuinely, he is one of the nicest guys in the community.
I mean, yeah, I personally have had a couple of interactions, and
yeah,
he's one of the nicest people I've spoken to. Of like in that range, obviously that sort of guy. He'd have every right to be like, oh no, I'm on top of the hill. To be fair, the fact that he went out there and put all this together in the first place with the people he put it together with, it says a lot.
Yeah, but if I'm ever in the Streamer Showdown again, I'll beat him.
Please, and like him and the vlogger, just you know.
And when you beat him, tell him to come on the pod, yeah?
Okay. I'll try and remember that.
Thanks.
The smoke machine above my head. Yeah, I'll try.
Yeah. While you're trying to impersonate Eminem, just remember.
Yeah.
No, but that's...
Remember the roots.
But I think that probably, to be honest, the questions we were going to ask, I think I'm going to go a slightly different way. I mean, it's not off the beaten path of what we were going to talk about. But you've spoken there about sort of the community and how you have these people that organise all these things for... people in the community that are, to think of the people he thought of to bring in, I think is great. But when we're talking about content-wise, a Football Manager, where do you see it going? Do you see sort of because at the moment there's more of like there's been an explosion as well of new streamers, not just an explosion for just a certain group. It seems to have been an explosion of there are lots of people, and I mean I've only just got started, but there's lots of people that seem to be seeing a lot of growth. And do you see that being the case, that there'll be a wider range of streamers, or where do you see it sort of going in the future?
Personally, I think the more the merrier. The more people that are here, there's more potential to bring eyes to the platform. I think with Football Manager on Twitch, it's one of its best places it's ever been, especially since I've been involved anyway. But like, I think personally, it's difficult to say, but like everybody brings something different, and like every stream is different, every save is different. And I genuinely think that the more and more people that come on and start streaming, the better it is.
Absolutely.
If you've got a thought that you want to start streaming, just do it. Like, just do it, because the longer you hold off, the worse it's going. You know, the harder it's going to be. And it's great fun. And I'm like, Charlie, you can vouch for that, right?
Oh, yeah. It's been a crazy few weeks, I think, is the the safe way of putting it. But yeah.
It's just mental. It is mental. It is mental. It's a mental word. The one thing I will say is just be careful, because it is bloody addictive.
Yeah.
It is bloody addictive, and you can get proper into it. But it is just, I love. So basically, I'm one of those horrible that if you have better Twitch TV, you can go incognito. So you go incognito and you just sit in people. You're there, right? Your class as a viewer, but like if they open their viewer list, because like one time I like to see what people stream like, just normal, just how they stream, and I like to, because basically I'm always looking. I like, if I'm going to raid somebody, I want to know that they're good. I don't want to just send my people to some random people. And well, I had the same with Charlie, and then look what turned out to be happening.
I mean, yeah.
But like for me, it's very important to like just to lurk around and kind of see who's streaming, and these, you say, these lots of these new people. But like I hate it. Like one of the only advice I can give is from the day one, the minute that you hit start streaming, whether you've streamed 90 times before or you've never streamed before, you have to imagine that there's 100 people in your chat.
Yeah.
You have to imagine that there's 100 people watching. And there's going to be days that you're going to have not a single line of chat. You're going to have days when nobody says a sausage in your chat. But the thing I hate the most is that people stream, and instead of having their chat up, they have their viewer list up. And the minute they see a viewer pop up, it's like somebody's just switched the YouTube switch on them. And they're sat there.
Yeah.
And they're playing the game. And then they see a viewer in their list and they're like, yo, what's going on? And I'm like, mate, you do this all the time. Like, be that person. If that's who you want to be and that's your streamer you want to be that all the time. Because the minute somebody comes in and they see that you're quiet and you're not talking, they're not going to get interactive. So you're like, it's difficult, because I mean, I've done it before, and nobody's there. And you've just got to stream as if you're streaming, but there's no chat there. Practice it. Sit at home when you're playing Football Manager. Just talk. Be open and just be like, talk through your decisions. And actually, you actually find decisions that way because you're logically talking yourself through it. But there's so many streams you go in and people are just silent, and it's like there's nothing that wants me. There's nothing you're doing that makes me want to come and speak and grab and get involved in be in your community. And at the end of the day, you're building your own community, and it's tough and it takes time. Look, 4 years, and I still haven't cracked it.
I think that can be a little bit off-putting to people. I think if you're not passionate, okay, it comes back to it again. I'm trying not to use buzzwords, but if you're not passionate enough about it, or if you find that as a struggle, I mean, I struggle with it. I'm going to be honest. So I've had streams even recently where I've had 3 people in there, one of which is me sat on my phone, like, so I can make sure nothing's broken. And you're like, well, what do I talk about? And then you start. I think, like, I mean, at least I do. I default into being like, okay, what would I be talking about if people were here, or what would I be talking about if I'm just sat on my own and talking myself through stuff? And I think that's exactly how you put it. I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So I used to stream at 9 o'clock at night, which I'd still do now. But like, I used to stream at 9 o'clock. So what used to happen is I used to be at work, and I'd go, this is when I was doing my driving job. So I'm in the car and I'm listening to TalkSport, and they talk about, I don't know, Balotelli being a knob again. So I used to write it down. I used to have a notebook. I used to write it down. I used to then come home and I used to do a little bit of research on each little topic. Little couple of lines I used to write underneath it. And then I almost used to treat it like a podcast. Right? So you start streaming. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the stream. If you feel free to say hello, look away if you wish, whatever. We're going to start playing the game. And then you're like, look, Balotelli's just popped up on the screen. Did you hear about Balotelli today? And you just talk your way through it. I cannot stress this how tough it is. I was very lucky was the fact that I did a network save from day, like the second attempt of streaming. I did a network save. So what happened there was we had somebody there that I was talking to, like we do now, but we're playing a network game, and you're chatting to them, and it makes it so much easier. But at the end of the day, you're going to be half in your viewers either way. So it is difficult. And I take my hat off to people that are starting. It is tough. And which is why I like to raid people. However, I do have my concerns of raiding lower, people that have no viewers, because sometimes you see people like go mental
Yeah,
And you're
yeah,
like,
about that.
okay, calm down, calm down. And then you have some people that are like so overwhelmed, they just shut up into a shell. You're like, oh, we've got 50 people watching. This is crazy. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I mean, I like to make sure people, if I'm going to raid somebody, that they're going to be able to handle it more so because I don't want to upset anybody.
No, that makes a lot of sense. I think, yeah, I think that's obviously people are going to get into it with different stages, and some people obviously will start doing it. And I mean, I've raided people that don't have a microphone.
Yeah.
So you're
And
saying
you've rated people that don't look at their chat.
I mean, there is the I had one example where I raided someone and I had to message them privately and be like, "Are you on? Are you meant to be on?" And sometimes, yeah, but it makes
He was literally listening to a podcast while he was streaming.
But
But yeah, I mean,
yeah.
it's tricky. Like I said, the advice I'd give is stream as if there's 100 people in chat. Only stream because you want to stream, and you're having fun with it. And if you're not having fun with it, take a time out, come back again. You know, try again. And just have fun with it. And it is amazing. It is great fun. But it is what you make it. But you've got to be prepared to sit through that tough stage.
Yeah, for sure.
It happens, and you got to imagine everybody has it.
Yeah,
You've got to make yourself different to everybody else, whether that's a smoke machine or an interesting save.
There is that.
Saves another big thing now. I don't know how much time we've got because I haven't got a clock here, but like saves are a massive thing. Like if you are starting out, don't try and do a save that people are not going to be invested in, because that's your title. You know, so doing, I don't know, Andorra in second division, who's really going to watch that? Or you're doing South African League 6. I like do a big team or a well-known team, and just to get people, you know, you've got the name of Manchester United, you've got the name of a big club in that title. People are going to be interested in watching it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You build an audience and then go for your obscure shaves.
But yeah, I like to think that's what I've done. I like to think I started with Newcastle, put a load of money in, and went, all right, let's see what we can do. And the name, I think that made a big difference. Definitely,
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, it makes a lot of sense. And I think, to be honest, it's probably, God, we've run a lot longer than we usually do. Looking down at the clock,
literally just been chatting like normal.
Yeah, I've just looked down at the clock.
It's good content because it's easy to listen to when people are just genuinely having a chit chat.
Yeah.
And like that, how long? That feels like we've been here doing it 20 minutes, so I don't even know what the time is.
We've been going for nearly an hour and a half, I think.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
But
yeah,
mate, we should probably take up enough of your time.
40 minutes before. I was going to say, 40 minutes before where it went wrong about 11 times, was it?
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah.
My dog was barking, that was all.
Yeah, thank you so much for watching the Halftime Cuppa Football Manager podcast. A massive thank you to my co-host, Charlie Pumfrey. Where can we find you, Charlie?
You can find me on Twitter at PumpfreysterFM and then on Twitch at Pumpfreyster on Twitch.
Lovely jubbly. You can find me at IJ011 on Twitch and at IJ011_ on Twitch. And a final massive thank you to an unbelievable guest that we're very grateful to have on. Doop, where can we find you, mate?
Twitch.tv/Doop every night at 9 p.m.
Lovely jubbly. Thank you. And be sure to be here next week where we'll have another, hopefully, brilliant guest on. And well, that's it from me. See you in a